So I'm reading 12 volts exactly. We should be reading more than 12 volts. So this is probably the problem with start-stop system right here. So first thing I'm going to troubleshoot is I'm going to test the voltage putting out by the batteries. I'm going to split them here, separate the aux battery from the main battery, isolate the circuits there, and then I'll put my voltmeter and check both batteries and see if they're putting out 12.6 volts. The vehicle has not been driven for about 4 days, so the initial charge, the battery's weak. It should have been losing a charge. So obviously my first suspicion on this is the aux battery. So that's what I want to check, see if the aux battery has failed, and if that's what it is, I'll buy new batteries. Anything more than that, it's still only got like 26,000, maybe 27,000 miles, so I'll take it back to the dealership and let them fix it under warranty. If there's a, what's that there? Is that the battery intelligence sensor, I think, is that there? Then there's another computer back here that load sheds all the electronics. I mean, it could be any number of those things, but of course a simple fix would be one of the batteries going weak. I mean, the vehicle is 4 years old, so at some point batteries are going to go bad, and batteries don't last very long no more, so I think 4 years is probably means it's the battery. So let's isolate the circuit and see. So let's separate the negative here. We'll take this off here. Good Lord, there's got to be a better way to do this. There we go. I've just got done changing belts on the Honda over there. So let's stick this old fan belt under here. Lay the ground terminal on that. There we go. This battery is putting out 12.4 volts. That's not bad. Let's check the aux battery. 11.5. That right there might be my problem. I think I have a bad aux battery. So what we're going to do is disconnect one of these negatives, goes to the aux battery, and I think it's actually this one. Once we've isolated the negative circuit. Alright, so this big one here, take it off. This is a 13 millimeter. Those two right there go to my winch and my switch panel. Now we have isolated the batteries. So that ground terminal and one of these goes down to that battery under the fender. So we're good to go now. Now the system's not live anymore. Both batteries are disconnected from the system, so there is no electricity on these circuits. We're good to go. I can now go through the process of pulling the aux battery out. Sometimes in life you get really lucky. When I drop that nut I gotta go find, well, I can see it right here. Right there is that nut I dropped. Ha! Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. Today I was not the bug. Boom. Alright, so we took out these plastic pins here, all out of the edge of the fender. 2 down there, 1 way back here, and we took 3 bolts out. No, 4 bolts out. 12 millimeters and 2 10 millimeters. I think now we're about to pull the splash guard out. Bury all your secrets in my skin. Alright, so we've taken everything out, and as you can see, the battery is right there. The problem I ran into here is apparently there was little clips. Get some light here so you can see them. Right there. I apparently did not take that out correctly. So, right in my eyes, good Lord. With that not taken out correctly, I don't know, we'll figure that out when we go put it back together. I'm not sure how those come out. But apparently ripping and tearing is not how you do it. In the meantime, let's worry about getting this battery out. Bolts here, I guess there's one in the back somewhere. We'll drop them out and change the battery. is a 10 millimeter, of course. Oh, it's heavy. Wasn't expecting that. Got it. All right, battery's out. Well, battery it takes. Several days later, we have a battery, and it is chargeable. Positive and negative cables have been connected. I got the tray resting on this harness here to kind of hold the weight. If I can get one screw to start and just support the weight, and I may have just got it. Okay, that's holding the weight. All right, now. Connect the auxiliary battery ground back to the main ground here. Snug that down. Make sure all the wires are not hitting anything that I've added onto this Jeep. Nothing's binding nowhere. Okay. That's down, that's down. That's hooked up. That's hooked up. All right, I'm gonna go for a ride in a little bit. All right. Yeah, if I get out, if it passes, I'm coming home and taking the top off.
So you're gonna drive the truck?
I'm gonna keep driving your car, save money on gas. Cool. Where is the start-stop function? Driver door open, okay? Driver seatbelt unbuckled. Hood open. Engine temperature too low. Hey, let's just do this. Let's go for a ride. Battery charging. Channel 6. That guy's always going channel 6. I've driven from Atlanta to Savannah, and that guy's still going on channel 6. There's any channels on our radio. Our battery voltage shows 14.2. Well, this is a dud. Battery nut. Or start stop not ready, battery is charging. So far so good. Well, got the Honda Civic fixed. Got the Jeep fixed. I gotta fix the fan in that truck. The Chevy, not the Ford. Ford actually works fine. Which is amazing because they're against Ford. Went for a long ride, and well, as you can see, start-stop function operated as advertised, with it functioning like it's supposed to. I'm gonna call this one fixed. I am done with it.